Hello, and welcome to the second part of this Last of Us Remake grounded speedrun tutorial. First video took us from intro through the end of cargo. This one's going to take us through the outside chapter through Capitol building. So let's get going right away. Webcam going away. And we're going to pick it up at the end of this cutscene that I said you had to watch through to save time. So what you're going to do, you're going to watch it through, you're going to hold sprint, you're going to run forward and mash triangle.
I think it's a bit strange that they're having us do their smuggling.
Marlene wanted to
The
do
triangle
herself.
triggers this dialogue, which you have to hit.
Second for that matter.
And again, I made its own video about the reason we do this, but this one saves quite a few seconds because basically it has to do with when the timer starts back up and when you hit triangle, and this one's faster.
All men, beggars can't be choosers.
Let's just hope there's someone alive.
All right, in the original, Tess
Someone will
and
be around.
Ellie had to go through the bookshelf before you, but in the remake, you can go first. Now, after you go through here, you want to let go of sprint, hold left, and point the camera towards the generator and mash triangle. So it looks like this. You don't want to hold sprint because you'll overrun the triangle prompt. Triangle prompt pops up when Tess is done pushing the shelf. So, yeah, just mash triangle and move Joel slowly and have him look at the generator. Now, the generators in this game are just like part 2, except for one difference. You can get the first pull if you just mash triangle right away. Like so. You don't have to wait for it to like start here and then go down here. You can just mash triangle for the first one. And then sprint to the right, turn the camera, and mash triangle for this one.
Who's waiting for us at the drop-off?
Nice and simple.
She said there's some fireflies that have traveled all the way from another city.
Yeah, and there's no special trick coming up here. You just crouch through these tunnels, climb on the ladder, look up, and mash triangle.
Daughter or something?
That's all you do.
Something like that. How long is this all gonna take?
If everything goes
Crouch.
as planned, we should get you to them in a few hours.
Ellie.
Hold sprint and X, and point the camera up and mash triangle.
Now hold up. There's a patrol up ahead.
All right here, before we get to the encounter,
All right. We're good.
you don't
Come
want
on
to
up.
stand Joel up right away because there's this little thing you need to crouch under. So what
Come
you're
on,
going to
kid.
do is you're going to crouch walk forward. Once he's underneath it, hold sprint and then forward, and you're going to push Ellie out of your way to the left. Like you just kind of walk into her and she'll
Watch
get
your
out of
step.
your way to the left. So don't hold sprint, hold it down right about here, and then just go forward. If you hold down sprint, he'll stand up right away, and then you have to re-crouch, so it's just not
This
worth
rain
it.
ain't gonna do us any good.
And then I like hitting this X prompt, like right on top of this
Up this
thing.
way.
And then you go, and then this is a cutscene, so we're going to skip that. I'm going to make a save file right here, so we can go over this a few times from start to finish. I'll go over the entirety of everything.
I got 2 dead units.
I'll go through every part first and then break it down section by section.
When I give you the signal, you run. Ellie, it's gonna be another sprint.
They're everywhere. I see him. I see him.
They must have gotten through. Check the trenches. Hey, get him! Don't lose sight of him.
I hear him up ahead.
I hear him! This way!
Right there. The next part's a little complicated, so I'll save that for its own thing. But yeah, this part right here. Okay. First thing you do is you like sprint up to the place where you need to crouch under and then hit circle really late, so you end up pushing Tess out of your own path and you have it free to yourself. So it kind of looks like this.
Holy shit!
I got 2
Okay, it looks like she's not gonna do that from a file load. It doesn't really matter. I don't think I can...
Here, take cover.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to show that off, but... Basically, hold down sprint in anticipation of Joel's movement. Kind of run into this thing. Yeah, there you go. And then just kind of push her out of the way. Fall off at an angle here. Do a sprint leap here. Crouch underneath here. And then crouch underneath this thing here. Now, I'm pretty sure, this has been a while since I tried this, but if you hold down sprint right now, when he lands crouched. So as he's falling, that's when you want to hold down sprint. Here, hold on, let me confirm that theory. Yeah, okay, right there. See, he landed crouched. So I'll go back here to show that off. These are all very tiny time saves.
Holy shit!
Yeah, you want to like run into Tess and then crouch to kind of push her out of your way. Yes, a very late crouch on that first one. Okay, so as Joel is falling, that's when you want to hold down sprint. So right there. And his momentum takes him a little bit more forward.
They must have gotten through. Check the trenches.
All right, now watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to hold down sprint the entire way, and watch what happens to Joel. He's tired. Look at him. He's exhausted. Oh my god. And what ends up happening as a result is you end up getting shot. So, what we do to avoid him tiring out is when he falls into the water, you want to do those first few climbs jogging. Because those specific climbs right there, climbing those with sprint held down versus sprint not held down are actually the same. And when the sprint isn't held down, again, not only is the climbing animation the same, you get some sprint momentum returned to you. So by the time those guys with the assault rifles are shooting at you, you're already gone. So again, I know it's inconvenient to go all the way back here, but is what it is. This area doesn't take too long to perform, so we can just...
Holy shit!
I got 2 dead uniforms. Follow me.
So yeah, when he's climbing those 4 things, you want, well, 3 of them. You want sprint, let go.
They're everywhere.
And again, you got to remember right here, only hold down sprint once he's started dropping.
I see him.
All right, now watch my
They
inputs.
must have gotten through.
Watch my
Check
inputs.
the trenches.
Once he falls off this thing, let go of sprint. These 2 climbs are the same speed, then hold it back down. Climb this one sprinting and then let go, and then hold it back down. Watch, he'll have his wind all the way through. There. Now, they may shoot at you, but they're not going to shoot you, okay? They're not going to hit you. But it's not even up for, like, debate. It's like, I recommend doing this. No, it's part of the strategy. You have to remember to let go of sprint when you're climbing things or leaping over things, because this also applies to later on in the run. And I know it doesn't seem like he would get sprint momentum returned, but that's exactly what it is. It all depends if sprint is held down during movements and animations or not. That returns enough sprint speed to him. So yeah, nothing more. All right, if you can't push her out of the way, just go. There's nothing you can do.
They're everywhere.
All right. So I'll just say it all out loud. Hold down sprint.
I see him.
They must have gotten through. Check the trenches.
Let go of sprint. Climb. Hold it back down. Climb this one sprinting. Let go. Hold it back down. And he should have enough sprint momentum to get it, to make it through, which he does. All right, now actually, once his feet leave like the ground there, you didn't have to land here. Again, you can check like the load times to see when the time changes, but when you want to restart checkpoint, that'll place you in front of these chains here. Saves you a bit of time to do that restart checkpoint. And I will overwrite this file because this area is weird. This area is very, very weird. I'll perform it perfectly once and then we'll go back. Here we go. Perfect. Literally perfect. Now, I'm not sure if this area works the same on a restart encounter or not. I just want to check real quick. I don't remember it working the same. Perhaps it does. Alright, it kind of does. Alright, that'll be convenient for showing this all off. Okay, so first thing you want to do is you want to sprint forward and then crouch. Why the crouch? Because if you just sprint forward, it's one of those things that might only work from the beginning. Alright, hold on. Ignore that. I guarantee you it's different if we do it from here. Always, like, approach it from doing it here.
Down there.
Come on, Ellie.
It's been a while. This was like one of the first areas we really worked on, so maybe it's different. Basically, don't sprint the whole way because, yeah, there's an alert. See that? In this area.
Over here. Cover me.
Yeah, it's interesting as it seems to still work. Again, maybe some things about it are outdated. I'm not really sure. Forgive me, I'm gonna do this one more time. Again, back in like September or October of 2022, this was like the first area that we really worked hard on.
Down there.
Come on, Ellie.
I mean, personally, I wouldn't play around with it. You see, if you go from here and you sprint the whole way, you do get alerted early. See that? They know I'm here. There's an early alert, and then I'm probably gonna get hit here. I can tell you right now, there's no reason to risk getting alerted there, okay? Even though it may play out the same, you saw he got alerted pretty early, like twice. To avoid that alert, all you gotta do is once he sprints forward, crouch, and then sprint again. That's how you avoid it. And then there's a brick right there you need. Swap to the medkit so you can pick it up without crouching. And then once you get right about here, that's when his tired sprint picks up, so that's when you want to let go of sprint, because if you sprint this whole way right here, you get alerted early, and then you can get shot really early. So basically, you climb through that. Well, let me do it one more time. Again, this can work if you sprint the whole way, but I prefer crouching there once to guarantee you don't get alerted. And then when you get right about here, let go of sprint, because he has his tired sprint going. And then hold down sprint when you get right about here. And you get all your sprint momentum. And that's pretty much it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to mention. Again, sorry about the beginning. Again, we worked on this area a long time ago, so I briefly forgot the reason we did something.
Down there.
Come on,
But yeah, you want to hold down sprint in anticipation of Joel's movement. When he gets some forward momentum, crouch, sprint again, pick up the brick, do it with the gun swapping thing so he doesn't crouch to pick it up. And when he gets behind that thing of cover, that's when his tired sprint starts. So when he gets out of that cover, that's when you want to let go of sprint, climb the truck in a jogging animation again as well, and then sprint once he gets inside of there. And you can kind of angle his way out of there cleanly. And I got to mention this. How much damage he takes doesn't matter. It does not matter how much damage he takes. The rest of the entirety of here through Capital will be the same, whether he has full health or no health. And the reason for that is, in the original game, when you enter Capital, like the Capital chapter, whatever damage you had taken carries over into that chapter. But in the remake, when you begin Capital, the game refills your health, even on Grounded, because I guess there was like a time lapse. So, yeah. So this, and the way we do Downtown and Museum, you don't really take damage. Museum you could, but not enough where you should be worried about anything.
Come on, Ellie.
But as for this area, again, I'll just vocalize everything. So I like to hold sprint. So crouch, sprint again. Pick up the brick quickly with the little trick. And then right about here, let go of sprint. Climb this jogging, then hold down sprint again. You can angle him out of there a lot more conveniently. Make sure your pistol's reloaded, by the way. Fall off, and then hit circle as he's like in midair. Kind of like how before when I told you hold down sprint as Joel is falling. Hit circle while Joel is falling, and there's two reasons for that. I can show it later, but when Joel falls off of like things in this game, if he just lands, he'll land, and then he'll just stand up so slowly, and you can't move him for a whole 2 seconds. If you think the fall's going to be big like that one, and you hit circle as he's falling, he'll land, and then you can move him right away. So make that a habit. When he falls off of like really big heights, hit circle on the way down, and you'll be able to move him right away again. Because in Downtown, I'll show you like the slow animation that you can get. It's the fucking worst. It really is. So just keep that in your mind. Right. So here you can hold sprint. Crouch under this thing. That's how I get my flashlight back on.
More soldiers.
Target's still on the loose, sir. Break off for
You can't get alerted there, and you're forced to crouch walk until they're done talking. Once they're done talking, you can hold down sprint
Shadows.
and go. Now, when he lands in the water, you want to crouch, because it's faster than the walking he would do. Now, right here, you want to hold down sprint. He's not standing, but eventually the game will let you stand up, and then you can go.
returning to the wall.
And then we keep going. So yeah, he falls in the water. You hit circle. And then halfway through the water, you want to hold down sprint, so when the game is able to let you start running again, you'll run right away.
This way. If we cut through downtown, we can hit the Capitol building by sunrise.
We hope.
Right here, nothing really complicated. Climb up the right side of the car so he'll step on it instead of climbing it. And then you climb these two things. Climb this thing. And then right about here, right about there, there's a checkpoint, and it'll place you just the tiniest bit further. But it does save you time. Not that important.
What the hell was that?
Tess, you hear that?
Yeah. Sounded pretty far away, though.
We continue onwards.
Are we safe? For now.
Come on.
Make sure not to climb up that thing. You want to climb up this thing.
Over here.
Climb on up.
Hey, Tess.
Coming.
You want to mash triangle on this door first.
What's wrong with its
And then after you hit triangle on this door, then it's a square mash.
line? Sort of.
Alright, now for supplements. There's supplements on that shelf right over there, right where the flashlight's pointing. So we're gonna pick it up standing, and then crouch under this thing, hold down sprint, and then leap over.
Fall apart. Watch your head.
And then head for this door.
Give me a hand with this.
You know, this is one you don't have to hit square. You don't have to hit anything. Alright, now I want to show you something. This part's very, very important.
You alright?
Watch Joel's running speed.
Let's search for supplies.
We're just gonna jog. We're jogging. We're jogging.
Let's get the hell out of here.
We're jogging. We're gonna boost Tess up. And then we're going to go back for a full thing of rags and alcohol, even though we haven't been introduced to Molotovs or med kits yet.
Come on.
We're gonna go back for this full thing of alcohol and a full thing of rags. He's still just jogging and jogging. Now Tess, come on big guy, give me your hand. When she says that, she can pull you up. So we wasted quite a bit of time doing that. Let me show you what you're supposed to do. This is kind of a cool trick and applies in quite a few other areas. All right, so you can do this now or a little bit later. Hold down sprint. The latest you can do it is like right here, but you can hold it down before.
You alright?
It's nothing.
Now watch Joel.
Let's search for supplies.
He's sprinting.
Let's get the hell out of here.
And if you keep sprint held down the whole time, like I am, he's going to be sprinting during this too.
It's clear.
Eventually he stops right about here. But we need this full thing of alcohol and rags in here. So during that little in-game cinematic, well, it's not a cinematic, during that part where... Just listen to Tess, hold on.
Come on, big guy.
Come on, big guy, give me your hand.
Your hand.
So you end up wasting like 2 or 3 seconds based on Tess's dialogue there. But again, we need that full thing of rags and alcohol because that will give us a second Molotov once we pick up our first one in a little bit. And we need 2 Molotovs, one for high school and another for the gym. This allows that to happen. And, yeah, again, as Tess is killing that clicker, I think you have until Joel says, thanks. I don't think I need to show that off again. You have until Joel says thanks to hold down sprint. And then if you keep sprint held down, you'll sprint. Now, what's tempting is when you hit triangle on this ledge the first time, it's tempting to just let go. And if that happens, he won't sprint the second time, even if you just let go, then hold back down. You need sprint held down the entire time for him to sprint to this ledge and then for the rag up to the doorway where the rags and alcohol are in the cabinets. So, yeah, you save a lot of time being able to sprint versus being able to jog. So just when Tess is killing that clicker, keep this held down for a good 30 seconds or so. Trust me, big time save. Now, this is technically a cutscene. This is one of those remake-specific cutscenes. This isn't a cutscene in the original, but it's a cutscene in the remake. Probably because they wanted to make this look extra good or something. But this is one of those cutscenes that's actually faster to watch all the way through. It has to do with when the timer starts back up again. This one's really easy. You don't need to pick up any bricks or bottles. I forgot to mention, when we were running past, like the last part in the outside chapter, when we were running past those soldiers, there was a brick that I said, you know, swap weapons to pick up so he doesn't crouch. That brick isn't optional. It's mandatory. Now, you might have a spare bottle from cargo. A bottle isn't going to help you in the downtown fight. This is all for the downtown fight. The downtown fight, a brick is 100% required. Not nothing, not even a bottle. It has to be a brick. So, in that last part of the outside chapter, when you're running to the right of all the soldiers, if you have a bottle, you can hold down triangle to pick up the brick, or if you have nothing, you just tap triangle once when you're over it and you're swapping weapons so he doesn't have to crouch. But a brick is 100% required for this upcoming downtown fight. 100% required. Anyway, this part's pretty easy. Hold down sprint, back left, and just get out of here. And then there's a checkpoint when Joel's feet hits the ground. Now, there's something I need to mention here. And that is, like I mentioned at the end of Cargo, climbing speed. If I just mash X in anticipation of this, the slow climbing. You see how slow he climbs? That's not fun when there's a clicker right there. You just see how frickin' slow it is. A way around that, and I mentioned this already, press up against the wall, and he'll climb it quickly. So you have that climbing speed versus this. And the clicker can actually kill you. So press up against it, hit X, and he'll climb it faster. Now, if you time it specifically, you can climb it faster than what I did there. Like that. You want to press up against the wall and don't like mash X in anticipation. Press up against the wall and just hit X once. So again, all together looks like this. Just like so. And then when this transitions from 2 to 1, restart checkpoint, and it places you. This isn't more for you, it's more for Tess and Ellie. Tess and Ellie are very, very slow here when you're doing this without a restart checkpoint. So what you want to do is go here. Oh, there's the animation I was talking about. All right, remember when I said you want to hit circle as he's falling? Watch this. When he leaps over this thing, I'm just going to keep holding. I'm going to keep holding a direction and watch when you're able to move him. All right, he has to take a big fall though. I think I need to hit X from further away. I just got it, so I know he'll. Right there, watch. Is that not the most annoying thing you've ever seen? Like, I just want you to move, please. So what you do is right after you start climbing, if you hit circle, you'll be able to move him again. So hit circle, and you can move him right away. It's so annoying, right? So you got this versus that. Pretty big difference, right? Now apply that to just about every fall that you take, okay? Hit circle, and you can move them right away again. And that restart checkpoint makes it so Tess and Ellie are a lot closer to you, so you can pull this thing back a lot sooner. But yes, that is a thing, and it's very annoying.
All right.
So hit circle as he's falling in a lot of places. All right, and there's a checkpoint right here, right about there. And it makes it so Tess and Ellie just start talking right here. Or Tess starts talking right away.
Just don't look down.
Because sometimes they can just kind of freeze in place here for a while. Alright, I gotta make a file here because now we got downtown fight. Make sure your guns are reloaded. Actually, it doesn't matter if the pistol's reloaded or not because we're gonna use the revolver for quite a bit going forward. Alright, I'll show off a perfect downtown fight and then I'll break down the specifics for it. Downtown fights,
Come on, Ellie.
it's a bit more fun in this one compared to the original. I personally have an easier time with it.
You're okay. We gotta wait.
There's a whole thing with getting past Tess and Ellie here. It's kind of annoying. Alright, so we're going to pick up the revolver. Now, you can't avoid this long-looking animation, but we use the revolver a lot later on. Basically, there's a revolver, like, after this fight, but it only has 1 in it. If you pick it up here, it has 6. And something I forgot to mention. I mentioned that the revolver is a one-hit kill, just like the original, but what they added with this game was the revolver is a one-hit kill on infected as well, even armored infected. That was not in the original. The original, that only applied to humans, but in the remake, the revolver is a one-hit kill on infected as well, even if you shoot them in the armor. With humans, you'll want to continue to shoot them in the leg, but even runners that are wearing armor, it's a one-hit kill. So we're going to use this. Now, just because we picked it up, it's still not in our inventory. So what you want to do is, as soon as you land, swap.
Stay with the girl.
And downtown fight should look like this. And then you just pause over and over for the encounter to be considered over. There's that. And then there's a bullet right at your feet. You pick it up, and you just go. That was a perfect downtown fight.
This is crazy.
Now, I'll keep this file here, but,
Serious?
yeah, I'll get to the downtown fight, and then, we'll restart encounter from there. Gives me a little bit of time to talk about this. Okay, it's really awkward to get past Tess and Ellie here.
Come on, Ellie. Yeah.
It's their life's mission to just block you at this door.
You're okay. We got a way through.
So you want to be really close to Ellie when you're going across this ledge here, but then you want to enter at a specific angle so it pushes her out of the way. You sprint and you get around Tess. That's about as good as you can do it. It's not a big deal if you don't get it. Okay, now for the sake of just being able to restart encounter, I'm going to swap here. So normally I would do that and then that. Then we go. That's a revolver. And that. Brick. Swap. Boom. Brick. And then boom. It's a very clean strategy. So let's break it down step by step. First thing you want to do, don't sprint right away, because you'll get spotted too early for these enemies to, like... Yeah, see, the clicker ends up going this way. It's not favorable. So what you want to do is when you land and then swap weapons, you want to just jog to about this point right here. It doesn't have to be a headshot, but... This all happens pretty quickly. But, yeah, the first shot, again, you just have to hit them somewhere on the body, all right? I don't recommend shooting their legs, though. That's one thing I'll mention. Don't shoot their legs, because... Of course it didn't happen. I can't seem to get it to happen, but... I love how it didn't happen. Okay, sometimes when you shoot their legs, their foot will fall off, and then they crawl towards you. That's in part 2 as well. And it's also here in this game with the infected. So try and aim from their stomach above. Trust me, you don't want to... It takes a while to kill them after they're crawling towards you. So yeah, so you drop down, you swap weapons. You want to kill this runner. You want to get really close to it. Not by sprinting, but just by walking towards it. You want to shoot it right about the time it's finished noticing you. So right about there. And then you shoot this one. You swap to your brick and do a double brick bash. Now, the brick bash in this game is probably the most responsive and best animation in this entire game. It's very strong, it's very responsive, and it just looks cool. So again, use 2 revolver on 2 runners. And then you 1, 2, and then right here, you want to swap to another weapon and get some sprint momentum, because then you're going to do a sprint punch on it that kills it. Because if you don't swap out, you just end up using the brick again. So you need to swap out to another gun after you're through with 2 bashes. Swap, 1, 2, swap, sprint, and then punch. And then it's a free kill on the clicker. You just hit down and then mash square. With the runner, it's important to just do 1, 2. But on the clicker, just mash. All right, just mash. And then the last guy, boom, dead. And that's the fastest and most convenient way to take everyone out here. This fight is a lot more simple in the remake compared to the original. So a kill, it doesn't have to be a headshot, just coincidentally getting one. 1, 2, sprint. Boom, swap real quick. 1, 2, 3. This guy will be right here. Boom. And then you want to pick up the melee weapon and the brick before the encounter is considered over. Like so. I will do all that one more time from here. Because you still need to swap out.
Look down.
If this area fails for you and you have to do it over, you won't have time to swap from the pistol to the revolver and then do that strategy. So it's very important you get this encounter first try. And as long as you get your shots and you swap to the brick, again, the brick is the most responsive thing. You just see that everything else takes a while to do and use, but this one is like the fastest thing in the game.
Just hold it down. You're okay.
You want to get really close to Ellie here.
Oh boy.
And then fall in at an angle like that so you can sprint and get past Tess like so. And then again, I know this looks slow, but the revolver, as you've seen, is very, very handy. The time you lose here, you gain up in the performance. You gain back in the performance in later spots. Okay, so
I'll go check it out.
swap, which is quite responsive. Shoot this one. Kind of late. Shoot this one. Brick, bash, bash, sprint, swap, punch, down, square, 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 and shoot. And then grab this stuff. And then, there we go. That's that. And then pick up this random revolver bullet on the ground before you head over to pushing this thing, or pulling this thing. It's all doable. Again, the brick bashing is the most responsive thing. You just need to hit down and then start mashing square. I wish other things in this game were more responsive. All right, now I'm only mentioning this. Let me make a file here. I'm only mentioning this from the perspective of a beginner. If you just wait here, Tess will give you a full thing of rags and alcohol.
Here, patch yourself up.
1,
Appreciate it.
1. See that? And then you can continue forward. I'm only mentioning, like, that's a good strategy for a beginner, because as you can see, that wastes way too much time. We'll do this all over again. That wastes way too much time. But it's a way to get a free Molotov. Now, if you run past Tess there, she won't give you that stuff. If you run past her while she's giving you one of those crafting ingredients, she won't give you the second one. You have to wait to move past her until she's finished giving you both of those for you to get both of those in your inventory. Now, again, that's not something I do because it wastes too much time, and an extra Molotov wouldn't help the run that much because it wastes about 16 seconds to just acquire these specific crafting ingredients. But if you're a beginner and you want an extra Molotov for the run, by all means, this is a good place to get it. All right, we picked up that revolver bullet. And what we are going to do is just move forward.
See?
Now, Tess is not going to give you that stuff because you're not around her. So we're just going to go.
Through here. Watch your back.
Crouch. All right, this is another one of those spots where you want to hit crouch as your... look at his whole body language change when you have sprint held down versus not. I never noticed that. See that? He's not sprinting, but the running animation's still faster. But even if you're just standing, it's kind of fascinating. I didn't notice that. Anyway, what we're going to do is jump off of this thing and then hit circle on the way down. Because when he leaps over this thing, there's that long, drawn-out animation of him just, like, staggering to his feet.
You get through here. Watch your back.
So again, what you want to do is hit circle. Pretty much like you're allowed to do it right after he jumps. So yeah. Also, and I got to mention this too. You don't want to hold sprint going off of that ledge because otherwise he's going to go too far. See how he like almost brushed against the wall? What you want to do
You get through here. Watch your back.
is, as you approach it, let go of sprint, and his jump won't be as far. That was weird. He stumbled over some pebbles there, but... yeah, as he's...
Watch your back.
So it's all the things combined. Hit circle right after he jumps so he lands and you can move him right away. But also let go of sprint a little bit before he jumps so he doesn't jump as far. Here we go. There we go. See that?
No, I was thinking. After we get
All right.
back.
Crouch. Now this one's rough because Joel has like this animation when he falls off of something. It's not big enough where you have to hit circle as he's falling, but there's a wall right there, and if you just run into that wall, he'll be like, ugh. It's so annoying. Let's see if I can get it. That's really annoying.
Brush me off.
So what you want to do...
Well,
maybe I can go back a little bit. All right, we'll go back here. You want to avoid that animation, and the way to do that is to just take a really big left turn. A really big left turn. So let go of sprint, hit circle on the way down. You can move him right away again.
no, I was thinking.
So when you get through here,
After we get back.
big left turn. Like that. And then you can climb right here. All right, now another example of slow climbing. Look how slow this is. It's so slow.
Almost time.
So what you want to do instead is get Tess out of your way, and then press up against the wall, and then climb it. See that? Press up against the wall, and then climb it. Otherwise, you'll be doing... It's the same ledge, too. That's why it's so annoying. But you got that versus that. So, yeah. And then you make your way down here.
Through here. Tess.
You should still have your
Down here.
brick, but if you don't, there's a free one right here. But yeah, you should have your brick here. Don't pick up any of these Molotovs because it takes a while. There's no need. There's a fresh Molotov at the end of the area, of the next area. Like, if you pick up this one, he's going to look at it for a really long time, and you don't want that. Well, I can show off what that looks like, I guess. Well, it's basically that. It's not for a long time, but the game wants you to focus on it. You don't have to do that. Okay, so we're going to make sure, before I enter here, my gosh, make sure the brick is what's in your hand when you enter that crawl space there. Because what we're going to do is, our first thing we're going to do in this next area is throw it. And if you had anything else in your hand, that's going to be what's in your hand when you aim. So when you get here, ignore the Molotovs, ignore everything else, unless you don't have a brick, in which case you pick up that brick, Make sure the brick is in your hand when you enter here. Now we're going to wait for the encounter to start. Now this is all very convenient because
Over there. See him?
it takes a while. There's this whole played out thing here where it's like, shit, we're almost out. All right, Joel, you take point, I'll watch the rear. Ellie, no matter what, you stay right on his heels. There's all that. If you just restart checkpoint or encounter, doesn't matter which one, you can move right away again. So let's see if I can do this strategy first try.
This way. I'm almost out of this. Come on. Shit.
Literally perfect, and they have very good hearing, so you can't really get much faster than that. All right, where to begin? Okay, first of all, you want to aim the brick and throw it this way. Now, if you sprint the whole way, or if you crouch walk at full speed, they're going to hear you. You also want that bottle. So what I do is after I throw the brick, I get the clicker's attention where he does that little chirp, but then I slow down. And then after the brick lands, I crouch walk at full speed again, but only for a couple seconds, and you'll see why. I get the bottle, and then just a little bit. Once that clicker's out of range, then I can do that, and then you do a sprint leap, just like I talked about in the cargo section. But yeah, this part, if you want to do the crouch aiming like I told you about when we did the first infected encounter, you can. Get the bottle. Like if you want to do this, okay, I did it too late. You can, there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't know why. You don't do it long enough. It just feels a bit more comfortable to just move them at a slow speed. Like, I prefer crouch aiming when we snuck past that one infected before slums, but I kind of, personal preference, prefer slow crouch walking instead of crouch aiming. But that's up to you. The timing of when to start and stop doesn't change. Which way you prefer to move slowly, that's up to you. But yeah, you throw, slow down, get the bottle. When it lands, you can crouch walk for a little bit and then slow down here. When that clicker gets far to the left, I stand up and go. And then you can actually sprint here for a little bit, but it can't be for very long, as you can see. Right about there. Once that clicker gets far enough to the left, then you go. Sprint leap. Quick sprint. You don't want to do it for too long because there's a clicker over there as well. You can only sprint again once that bottle lands. For some reason, the clickers and other enemies' senses are a little bit different after they've been distracted by something. There's this brief period where they're just like, oh, what was that? And then for like 2 seconds after that, their normal senses kind of get lowered a little bit. But it only lasts for a couple seconds until they start like chasing the noise that they heard. So that's why you want to throw it, slow down, then you can move at full speed, and then slow down again. And once they've gotten a bit further away, then you can do that and stand up. You can even sprint for a little bit. Now this one's important. If you just aim it like somewhere over there. Right, that one might have heard it. Okay, he did. The throw with the bottle has to be specific. And the reason it has to be specific is it gets this clicker out of there. Let me show you a time when it doesn't work. Slow down right about there. Again, for some reason, I just prefer not using the aiming there. Wait, hold on. I forgot to show. Basically, the spot I'm aiming at is like right at the top of this vending machine right here. because both clickers are going to come over and investigate. See that one? That's the one that was over there. Oh my god. Yeah. One other thing I forgot to mention. Make sure this first throw is far, because if it's not, like it only goes over there. First of all, I don't think they walk away far enough. But also, this clicker will notice it. This clicker was all the way over there, but he heard that. The way to get rid of that clicker noticing it is throw this one really far. And this clicker over here won't know it's over there. Now, another thing of RNG that can happen is this clicker is over here. If that happens, you want to throw this bottle crouched. But if you throw this bottle over here, besides getting alerted there, only that clicker that was next to that bottle throw heard that. The only one. When I throw the bottle at that vending machine towards the top, everybody hears that. So they're focused on the bottle and not you. And Crooked in chat, it's only present for clickers, but their hearing effectiveness is halved when you throw a bottle, but it increases back to maximum slowly over the next 5 seconds. It's kind of what I said. So it's not 2 seconds, it's 5 seconds, but it lowers their senses, like I said. So, yes, very interesting. Which is why, you know, that's an alert, but that isn't. You know, when they're distracted by something, their senses go down a bit. So throw this far to not alert the clicker to the right. Slow down at some point. When that clicker gets far enough left, stand up and go. Sprint leap. And you can sprint for a quick second. Oh, there he is, right there. Okay, so right there. See, that's the randomness I told you about. Sometimes that clicker is there, which is the reason you don't want to sprint too far after leaping through that window. Now, if you notice him, you keep the strategy exactly the same. The only difference is you crouch when you throw that bottle. That's the only difference, because if you stay standing for too long, he will hear you. Their hearing is very, very good. So yeah, the only difference is if he's here, you notice him, find the spot, crouch, and throw. If he's not there, you can throw it standing up, because that's a little faster. And then after the bottle hits the thing, you can sprint all the way here and go. So putting everything together. Right, he's not there, so you can just throw it. So there you can throw. And this is where you want to do the crouch aiming. When you're just about over the Molotov, pick it up, stand up, and go. Don't sprint. The clicker doesn't move far enough away for you to get away with a sprint, but you can with standing up and going. Again, all together. Big throw. Pick up the bottle. Slow down right about here. I use that clicker as a visual cue to know when to stand up and shit. Sprint leap. Quick little sprint. Aim. He's not there. I can do that standing. Bottle. Hits it. I can sprint. Leap. Hit circle. Pick that up. Again, you don't make enough noise for him to tell you're there. And then go. Just practice it. You'll get it. You'll end up getting it. Now, you can either craft the Molotov here or later. It doesn't matter. And then make your way out of here. Now, you want to sprint off of this ledge at an angle. To avoid him like pressing against something. It's pretty simple. So you're going to sprint and then go off at an angle like this. And then fast climb, press against something, and then hit X at the last second. And then right here, right there, you get a checkpoint. And if you restart checkpoint, it'll place you a little bit further. And now we have this strategy coming up right here.
Where are we going, Tess?
Capitol building's in this direction.
1, 2, 3.
Here we go.
And then you go. That was perfect. I made the file because if you remember in the original game, I would like fire a bullet here
Ellie, stay back!
and then just like make my way here. That strategy doesn't work, okay? Get that out of your mind, okay? It doesn't work. So what you want to do, this is the big reason for getting the revolver, because again, I know we picked up the revolver and Joel looked at it for a really, really long time. It's like, oh, it looks like it wastes time. This area can be performed very quickly because of the revolver.
Yes.
So, what you want to do first is run into position,
To where we going, Tess?
kill
Capitol building's in
this
direction.
runner, and then kill this one and this one. And then swap to your med kit as you're sprinting towards this crate, because you'll pick up whatever ammo they drop and you won't have to crouch to get it.
Here we go.
Now comes the bad part, which is, yeah, that. For the life of me, I do not have a consistent way to get them out of the path of moving the crate to the truck. I don't. What I usually do
To where we going, Tess?
is I let go of sprint. What ends up happening is, like I mentioned before, the game takes forever to recognize the enemies as dead. So when I hit triangle on the crate, the enemies are still alive, and then they die at some point as I'm moving it, and the game's like, all right, the encounter's over. But your allies will still behave like it's an encounter, and they will follow you and get in your way and do all this stuff. So what I usually do is I let go of sprint just a little bit before I hit triangle on the crate. And I'm not saying it gets rid of them, but it's more likely that they just won't be in your way. I'll be honest, I still don't have a way to 100% prevent them from being in your way. It's annoying. If they are in your way, let go of the crate, then hit triangle again to move it, and they should get out of your way. It's one of those things. It's tied to just when the game counts the area as over, combined with the fact that you're holding this object, and it's just weird and it's dumb. Okay, I'm sorry, it just is.
To where we going?
Like, I'll do
Tess?
this a few times and just show you the different things you can get.
Capitol building's in this direction.
So the problem with holding down sprint the entire time
Here we go.
is Ellie will sometimes like try and come in here. And also, there's nothing you can do about that, but yes, it's annoying. I know. I don't know why Naughty Dog put your companions literally in the only path of that crate that I don't know. I just don't know.
To where we going, Tess?
This will lose you the most time in the entire section.
Capitol building's in this direction.
You kill one, you kill a second, you kill a third, swap to your medkit and mash triangle so you can get it. Hit triangle on this, and then just hope they don't block you. That's all you can do, okay? Alright, yeah, I should mention, this is another spot. This is another spot right here where the climbing animation is really, really slow. But if you're able to place this on this little patch of rubble right here, you can make it so this thing is angled a little bit higher and the climb isn't as tall, so he can climb faster. Unfortunately, if it's too far away, then he just won't climb at all. So it's one of those balancing act things. You just gotta trust it or play around with it. If you're not feeling too good about it, just move it here and then climb. If you want to save that time, though, move it about here, you climb, and then you just mash X. Whether you're pressed up against it or not doesn't matter in this case. But yeah, the strat is what it is. I don't have a consistent way to get them out of the way of moving the crate. Sorry. Whether you have sprint held down or not, it affects them, but not really positively.
Capitol building's in this direction.
You just gotta 1, 2, 3,
Here we go.
and then go. Now Tess is trying to get outside as well. Again, just one of those things. There, right there, I got the fast climb. See how, well, it moved itself, but did you see how I angled it so it's on that little rubble there? And the crate ended up being a little taller. So he climbed quickly. Okay, now there's one other thing I should mention about this area. What the enemies drop will affect what strategy you do in the museum. Because there's one enemy encounter in the museum, and that's when Tess gets bitten. Where Ellie's like, guys, get in here. And Tess is like, the girl. And then they both run in and take out infected. That fight, with regards to the other infected, like the clickers, we just run past them. But that fight, what strategy you do will depend on what these enemies out here drop. What you want to have happen is they drop 1 revolver bullet. There's 2 runners, and hopefully one of them will drop 1 revolver bullet. Hopefully. It's not the end of the world if that doesn't happen, but you end up doing a strategy that's about 3 seconds slower in the museum. Basically, the strat in the museum is you shoot 3 runners with 3 revolver bullets, hop outside, and the area is over. But if you only have 2 revolver bullets, you have to bottle 1, shoot another one, hop outside, hop back inside, kill the stunned runner, and then shoot the last one. It becomes a little bit more complicated. But the time you would lose, like trying to gain back a revolver bullet somewhere else, like downtown fight or here, it's kind of the same as the slower museum strat, so it's just not worth it. If you get a revolver bullet dropped right here, you do the faster strat. If not, you do the slower strat. It's just how it has to be.
That's where we going, Tess.
So we'll do this again and just see what they get dropped again. Remember, swap to your med kit as you're sprinting forward so you can pick it up without having to crouch.
Here we go.
And then just pray to RNG they're just not in your way. So I'm pretty sure I got back a... they can drop pistol and revolver. I'll try and get the fast climb here. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, you wanna pull that thing a little bit far to the left. All right, so I got a revolver bullet dropped. I'll show you both strategies, but I need to leave here for the sake of the tutorial with a bullet dropped. And again, they can drop... You don't have to worry about pistol ammo until much later. But you still do need some. Really, I think sewers and ranch are the next parts you need pistol ammo. There's one spot in Billstown as well, but yeah, pistol ammo isn't used as much as revolver in this run. It was even used more in the original game. But yeah, pistol, once you make it past cargo and slums, pistol ammo is not used much in this run. But when we do use it later on, it's used quite frequently.
You got something on your shoe.
All right, this is a cutscene. It's another one of those examples where it's a cutscene that wasn't considered a cutscene in the original game, but it is here. This one is faster if you watch it through, based on when the timer starts back up again. Also, Tess and Ellie aren't in your way.
Okay, how do we get out of this place?
All right, ignore crafting tables. We do not need a single crafting table, or, workbench in this run, because it takes too long to upgrade anything. I'm going to overwrite this file here. Now, it's hard to spot, but there's a revolver bullet right there. Pick it up, go through this door, and reload it. You can sometimes forget to reload your gun. I do it all the time. Just always double check during downtime.
Tess.
All right, now we picked up a melee weapon at the end of the downtown fight because we are going to use it quite a bit in the museum. Really, museum's all we need it for, but we absolutely need it in museum. Now, this strategy is going to be Sketch City,
I'll make my way
but it
around.
works. You gotta trust me on that.
Run!
It has never failed me as long as you do everything correctly. You just gotta trust me.
Tess.
In you go. Okay, so with that strategy, you want to stop sprinting when you get through that little doorway and then start up again after the clicker thinks he hears you. And then the most important thing about that area is you need to swap from one gun to something else as you're hitting triangle. Because if you just hit triangle, he'll just be like, okay, got to put the gun away and then open the door. But if you hit triangle as he's putting a gun away, he'll open the door right away, okay? Which is very important because the clicker's right on your ass. So now, and then when you get upstairs, that runner that's knocking down the door, you can't just hit triangle on the door. That runner has to die. And you do that with a brick throw and a swing. But for some reason, and I'll show this off in a little bit, that brick throw and swing has to be kind of specifically timed. If you brick it from far away, run up and swing at it, your swing just whiffs. I don't know why, it just does. So what I do is I kind of throw it far away and then immediately follow it up with a square, and you're guaranteed for it to hit, because that also applies right here. I'll show you the fast strat. We're not at this point yet. I want to go back and show that off again, but I'll show you briefly the fast museum strat.
I'm fine.
Guys, get in here!
The girl!
Literally perfect. See how great it can be when you get that extra revolver bullet? Literally perfect. And then once you're halfway out the window, a restart checkpoint teleports you to the roof.
That's our building.
And that's what a perfect museum looks like. Yeah, this is going to take a little while to explain everything. Maybe I can rely on a save file to
How do we get out of this place?
Let's find out.
speed things up a little bit, because this is the only checkpoint in this entire building before the fight. So
Somewhere
make sure when you pick up that revolver bullet, you reload it right here. Very, very important.
You must have been someone you shouldn't to find that effective.
Ah, shit. Sorry, that was me.
Tess.
Sorry.
Watch your head. Sorry, go.
All right, I'll start off with basics here. This bottom part involves knowledge of knowing when to stop and start your sprint.
I'll make my way around.
Look, they're here!
Tess.
Run!
Real quick, I just want to let me get rid of some autosave files, because I want to make a file here. But it might not be super accurate to the attempt here. Oh, there's a checkpoint right there, I guess. Okay, so if you sprint too far, the clicker in the right will hear you. It's that one in there that heard you, not that one. And then you're just fucked. Is it this one? Yeah, let's see where this places me. Good enough.
Tess.
Okay, so when you get right here, you want to let go of sprint. Now, if you hit triangle on the door slowly, all right, you can make it through, but there's no reason to cut it that close. This is a convenient checkpoint right here.
Tess.
Okay, so to avoid getting alerted, just let go here. Now, if you start up too early, again, you're going to get spotted, all right? I highly recommend, even though it's a little bit slower, wait a while until after the clicker thinks he hears you. For your heart's sake, okay? Let go of sprint. Start it up. Swap to something else and hit triangle. He'll open it faster, and then you go. Now let's see if I can show off the whiff here. See, right there. That's what I remember happening when I first discovered this strategy. For some reason, the brick and the swing, the brick throw and the swing doesn't work. But it will work if when you notice the lock-on happen, and then you mash square right after. It's kind of like how in part 2, there's a thing in part 2 where if you throw a brick or bottle and then immediately follow it up with square, insta-kill. A very, very quick insta-kill. It's not just an insta-kill, it's a quick one. It's kind of the same logic here, where once the lock-on shows up, you throw it, and then you mash square right after, and you're guaranteed a kill. Because for some reason, it's with this enemy and the next one, when we do the museum fight, just a throw and then a swing afterwards won't kill it. I have no idea why. It's probably because this is the greatest game ever made. Sarcasm. All right, so putting that part together. Let go. Go. Swap to something else as you hit triangle. Start it up again. Now notice I'm letting go of sprint when I hit triangle on the door to help regain some sprint speed. It's not a lot, but it adds up. And then, like I said. And then you just mash triangle. I'll show that off one more time and then we'll focus our time on the, you know what, we'll go from here just to make it a little more authentic.
Okay, how do we get out of this place?
Let's find out.
But again, it even happens here. For some reason, in the original, you could open doors with like a right holster gun in your hand. But in this game, he has to put the gun away to open the door with his other hand. Did you see that? It's something that's so annoying, especially during an alert. Look, gun in my right hand. No, we can't have that. I'm going to put it away to open it with my left hand. It's so annoying. Because it's going to kill the occasional run for someone who's inexperienced in the next room. I know it is. Anyway, get the revolver bullet, reload it.
Tess.
Sorry.
Watch your head. Sorry, go, go, go.
By the way, when the encounter in this next area begins, whatever you had in your hand is automatically pulled out. Like, if you had a brick in your hand, basically when the encounter begins, Joel pulls his gun out automatically. So the transition from revolver to medkit when you're opening the door past the clicker, you have to transition it. You have to. You have no choice.
I'm alive. I'll make my way around.
Look, they're here!
Tess?
Run.
Run!
So all together, ladies and gentlemen. So he'll have the revolver out in his hand. Hold sprint. Let go. Go. Swap to something else and hit triangle. I like to let go of sprint as he's opening the door and then hold it back down. Triangle on the door. Brick out. Throw and swing. Super fast. Super fast. I cannot stress that enough. And that's that. All right. Museum fight. I will show off a perfect attempt. Again.
I'm fine.
And yeah.
Guys, get in here! The girl!
I have no clue where that brick went. Or where that bottle went. I'm not going to lose sleep over that. Let's just try that again. This game, dude. This game. I suppose in that case, it just didn't lock onto him. It's kind of the same thing as before. You don't want to throw it where you think the bottle's going to hit him. Wait until the bottle locks onto him.
I'm fine.
Well, real quick, before I actually show this off, let me show you that the swing just doesn't work the first time, just like before. See that? There's something wrong with this area. I don't understand it. And that only applies the first time. Watch if I restarted encounter. It works the second time, it just doesn't work the first time. I don't know why. So that's why when you do it from here, oh, by the way, I didn't even mention, this is a cutscene, but based on when the timer starts back up again, it's faster to watch it all the way through. And that enemy alignment where I did it perfectly, what, like 6 or 7 minutes ago, you don't get that alignment when you do a restart encounter. So not only is it faster to watch this through, you get a more favorable alignment with the enemies when you do it from here. But the one negative is you will occasionally deal with that melee weapon glitch. I'm calling it a glitch. I don't know what the hell's up with it because it works perfectly the second time. But a way around it, again, is wait for the lock-on to show up, throw it, and then immediately follow it up with mashing square, and you'll be fine. And after you kill that runner, you want to mash triangle for any ammo it drops, but also there's another bottle you want to pick up as well. And the bottle we're using on the first runner, we don't have it. We pick it up on like one of the exhibits or something that's right next to Joel when he runs through. Yeah, let's see if I can do this perfectly, and then we'll break it down a little bit more.
The girl.
There we go. Oh, weird alignment, weird alignment. Still did it perfectly. Okay, that's another thing that I wanted to mention. Sometimes the runners are just out of alignment. What I mean by alignment is that runner that almost grabbed me is supposed to be over there, but instead it was right here. That's just something that can happen when this area begins, okay? There's nothing you did wrong, it's just random, okay? But as you can see, you can still do it. Okay, now there's something I have to mention about this area.
I'm fine.
Watch this. I'm going to do the same strategy, but something else is going to happen. Look at this. The encounter's still going, and 3 more runners spawned in. What the hell's up with that? Well, it turns out once you kill your second runner in this area, 3 runners will spawn outside on the fire escape. That's how it works. Not when you kill your first runner, but your second. But if you remember, the first time I did it, the area worked and I killed 4 of them. So what the hell? There's a workaround to those 3 runners spawning outside, and that workaround is if you hop outside and then hop back inside, those infected will never spawn in.
I was too damn close.
As long as during the fight, you hop outside, and then you don't have to hop back inside, you just need to be outside.
This will get us to the roof.
Yeah, that's a thing. By hopping outside, you prevent the spawn of the 3 runners that would normally spawn in after you kill the second one. Now I'm going to redo the fastest fight and explain something else. So it is a spawn prevention tactic,
I'm fine.
which is a very weird one.
Here! The girl!
There she is. That's our building.
Now you're probably wondering, all right, Anthony, you killed 4 infected and then hopped out, and it still worked. Why? The reason is, and it's something I've already mentioned before, this game takes forever to recognize an enemy as officially dead. So I killed that first runner with a brick and melee swing, and then I revolvered the second one and revolvered the third and fourth ones back to back. By the time I was out the window, the game was still waiting to recognize that first revolvered runner as dead. Now, if I had waited any longer, they would have spawned outside. But because it was all 1, 2, 3, hop out, the game was like, hold on, I still don't know if the first runner's dead or not. I still don't know. That's why it works. It's a super weird strategy. But you are not going to find anything faster than that. You go from killing 7 runners down to 4, and you're killing the last 3 so quickly. Do it again. 1, 2, 3. And you go, and it works. The game's still waiting for that one to be considered dead. Still waiting. Now let me show you an example of it not working. Like if I waited too long or something. Like you want to get these revolver kills very close to the window. And you want to make sure that your shots are consecutive. No waiting. All right, there's one out of alignment. 1, 2, 3. That still worked. I wasn't expecting it to. All right, well, clearly right there you can see you have time to spare. But yeah, if you wait too long after killing the first runner with the revolver, they're going to spawn outside, okay?
I'm fine. Guys, get in here! The girl!
1, 2, 3. And as you can see, it transitions from 2 to 1. So that's how you'll be able to tell if not only did this work, but when the checkpoint is hit out the window.
There she is. That's our building.
I don't think I ever noticed that. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, all right. I know I'm kind of rushing through some stuff. Let me slow it down a little bit. So the first runner, you pick up the bottle, you lock on to the first runner, and you swing right after you throw. And then I have another bottle. I mash triangle after the kill, so I pick up any ammo he might drop, as well as a bottle that's right there. Now I throw it at the next runner, because that's going to make it so it's an easier kill. And we don't need a brick or a bottle for capital. We don't need one. Which I know sounds weird, but we don't need one. So yeah, that runner's stunned, and it just creates for a much easier shot. And then we will stop and aim at the runner that's kind of behind us, because we kill that one first because sometimes he will go after Tess. Let me show an example of that. I've noticed he doesn't do that as often when you throw a bottle at the second runner, but I just want to show that off. So, all right, he didn't do it, but damn it. All right, yeah, I don't think the whole area behaves differently when you do it from here. All right, he's not even there. He's going after Tess. It's kind of like how I showed. It's kind of like what I meant to show, but yeah, we kill that one first because he can sometimes just make a left turn and go after Tess. And then we kill the one that's closest to us, and then we kill the one that's furthest away from us. In what order you kill them, like the third and fourth one, that's up to you. 1, 2, 3. All right, one thing you don't want to do, if you headshot one of them, the game will recognize them as dead a bit earlier. So try to not get a headshot. Very, very important. But this all seems relatively doable, right? This is, I would say, a little bit more of an advanced strat, but there's nothing better than this. This is a great strategy. Boom. Follow him. 1, 2, 3. And then go. There's not much more to mention than that. Again, that runner being so close to me that he's going for a grab is just random. I'll do it again to show you like the other spot he's supposed to be. And I like to bottle that one runner after the first kill, just to like make it easier on myself.
Guys, get in here! The girl!
There he is, all the way back there. 1, 2, 3. See how much easier that makes it for you? All right. So we have the 3 revolver strat. What if you didn't get a what am I trying to say? What if you didn't get a revolver bullet dropped outside the museum? You'll only have 2 here. Well, you got to do a different strategy, and it's a little bit more complicated. The first kill is the same. What you do to the second runner is still the same.
I'm fine.
Let's see if I can do it. Again, it's a little bit more complicated.
Girl.
Boom. That was perfect. And that strat right there is 3 seconds slower than the 3 revolver bullet strat. So most of it's the same, except after the first revolver kill, what you do on the first enemy, second enemy, and third enemy are the same, except after you kill your first enemy with the revolver, you hop outside, hop back inside, hope the stun is still in effect so you can do a melee weapon kill, and then you revolver the last one. So that's, yeah, that's what you do.
I'm fine. Guys, get in here! The girl.
That was perfect right there. And if you notice, after I melee weapon killed that runner, I mashed triangle to see if he would be able, if I could pick up any ammo that he might potentially drop. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about this area. What the enemies do when you first are able to move Joel is random. It just is. But yeah, you'll know if it doesn't work because the 3 enemies will spawn outside. But there's one thing I have to mention. When you are doing the 2 revolver bullet strat, when you hop outside, you want to hit, I've been talking about this, you want to hit circle as he's leaping because Joel will do like the press against the wall, and it's really annoying. Here, I'll show what that looks like.
Guys, get in here! The girl.
So if you're doing this strategy and you don't hit circle, all right, of course he didn't do it. Let me see if I can, here, watch. He does that. He does that little press, and it's just really annoying. What it does is it's slower compared to hitting circle and then just leaping back in. So when you are doing that 2 revolver bullet strat, you need to hit circle halfway through the window, or after he leaps through, so he doesn't do that animation.
I'm fine.
So putting everything together, once again, the 3 bullet strat. Perfect. You don't have time to pick up any ammo they drop when you do that.
I'm fine. Guys, get in here! The girl.
And the 2 bullet strat. Oh boy. Alright, yeah, this isn't gonna work. Well, it would have worked, but I shot this one in the leg. As you can see, it's very, very annoying. That's kind of what I mentioned before. You want to aim for their stomach to their head, because if you aim any lower, it's just going to chop off their foot.
I'm fine. Guys, get in here! The girl.
So the 2 bullet strat again. Oh, he was crouched when he did that. Yeah. This one is more complicated, which is why you really want to get a revolver bullet drop outside. All right, that would have worked, but the game told me that Joel wasn't sprinting when he did that second leap. That's what was wrong with that one.
I'm fine.
You still want to do the crouch, but you got to make sure he's sprinting when you leap back inside. Perfect. There we go. That's what you do. Okay, now for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to do the 3 bullet strat one more time because that's how many I have. No matter what, you're going to leave here with no ammo. Okay.
Guys, get in here! The girl.
One more time with the fastest way. Oh my god. Well, once again, that was the first time you got to see that. There's that runner going that way to try and go after Tess. But also, let me show you just how weirdly strict this is. Hold on. So yeah, that runner going to the left is the reason we shoot it first. If you lose sight of him, Tess is going to end up killing it, and she takes a long time, or she'll need your help. One of those things. But look where I shot him. Hold on. Look where I shot him. The game's like, this is going to register as a leg shot. It's not even his leg that falls off. It's his foot. We'll slow it down. Look at this. That results in his foot missing. That results in his foot falling off. It's just... It's annoying. So yeah, when you're killing enemies with the revolver, aim high. Aim high.
I'm fine. Guys, get in here! The girl.
There he goes. 1, 2, 3. Should still work, and it does. Yeah, you have a lot more time than you think. You have a lot more time than you think. All right, that was good.
There she is.
But yes, that runner going to the left is the reason you want to kill him first. If you lose him, you can't do it. You can't do it this fast. And I recommend redoing the area if you get the 3 runners spawning in. All right, skip cutscene, and then the earliest you can pause, restart the checkpoint. Okay, now the only way you're gonna end up having revolver ammo here is if you're doing the 2 revolver strat. You kill the runner, like, what is it? You kill the first runner, you bottle the second, you're over there. You kill one, you hop outside, you hop back inside. You kill with a melee weapon the stunned runner, and then if he drops a revolver bullet, that's the only way you can have a revolver bullet here. But most of the time, you're not going to have anything. Now, we are going to do a strategy in the capital where a revolver bullet is required, and you'll see why. It is 100% required. So what we end up needing these 3. And then you go for the dumpster. Now the one problem with this is these 2. They are in your way. Because when you go for the revolver ammo here, Joel will say,
Look at this.
and they will go over there and look at that. But when you pick up the dumpster, they'll go back to their spot. But as you're trying to move this, they will just still continue to try and make their way over there, and they'll do nothing but block you and make your life miserable. See that? So the one thing, I'm not saying to not do this, you need the revolver ammo. Like 90% of the time, you're not going to have any revolver ammo leaving the museum. You just aren't. So you need these revolver bullets. And even though it wastes about if you do all the movement perfectly, you're going to lose about 4 seconds picking up this ammo. But you can gain that back, all of that back, and then some in capital. But you can gain a couple of those seconds back before the upside down shooting at Bill's, and even a little bit before the capital. But a strat we're going to do in the capital, with the benefit of just one revolver bullet, saves about 11 seconds. So you lose 4 here to gain 11. It's worth it, trust me. So the way this all works, again, I mentioned, once you pick up that ammo, Joel will say, look at this, and then Tess and Ellie will go over and look at it. But the moment you hit triangle on the dumpster, they will go over and stand there as to not get in your way. But they end up getting in our way anyway. But yeah, there's specific movement you have to do. We're going to swap weapons to pick up that revolver ammo. Tess isn't supposed to do that. This is the greatest game ever made. Why is she doing that? Whatever. You're going to swap weapons and pick up the ammo so he doesn't have to crouch. Push one out of your way, and that'll make it so they'll get to that spot a little bit quicker. And then you can put it right about here. You don't have to push it all the way against there. All right, that was too far away. But make it so it's right about there, and then you can climb up from really far away. And it's the fast climb no matter what. But yeah, I think I practiced this for like an hour one stream. It kind of just is what it is. You want to get behind Tess, push her out of the way, swap weapons, mash triangle to pick that up. And then just wait for them to move, and then move this. Now, again, you need this ammo if you have none right here. You just do, okay? Alright, she's done this every time she's not supposed to. Push her out of the way. Now, as you're heading for the dumpster, push one out of the way. Like right here, that's good enough. Okay, Tess is just making our lives very difficult. Wait for the alignment. You'll see it. There we go. They keep moving. You push Tess out of the way. You pick up the ammo.
Look at this.
And then you... Good enough. Just play around with it. For one thing here, you need them to keep moving. And then pick up the ammo. Right there. I'll just push Ellie out of the way. I'll hit triangle. I'll move the dumpster like up and then move it over here. Just try not to have them block the dumpster and then go. I recommend just practicing that over and over and over and over again. It's quick,
Home stretch, Tess.
but it's very important that you just don't lose time. I actually, hold on, 1 second. I have a clip from like a month ago where I had like the perfect dumpster movement. So they just keep moving. You hug the right side. You push Tess out of the way, swap weapons, pick up the revolver, and then I bump into Tess. So she's not in my way over there, and then the route is clear. And then you go. So then, if they're both, like, here, what I like to do is push one out of the way, out of the direction of the dumpster. And then, yeah. Pretty much that. That's what you're looking for. I know this is a weird thing to, like, obsess about, but you can lose a lot of time if they're just in your way. But you need the ammo as well to be able to do a very, very good strat that we're going to show off in Capital. Okay. Anyway, Capital.
Just so it's out there.
Here's one benefit of having ammo for this part.
Look, it looks like it's shallow.
Watch
on the
this.
right side.
I'm glad Marlene hired
Where the hell did that awareness indicator come
I
from?
know you guys are getting paid for this.
Well, it turns out there are some enemies out of bounds and not in this area, but can still hear that. So what ends up happening is Joel will start sprinting right now. It's tired sprint, but it's still sprint. Very, very strange, huh? If you didn't fire that shot, he would just, you know, jog up the stairs, but there you can get a tired sprint up there. It saves about a second, maybe a second and a half firing the bullet and then sprinting up the stairs. But it makes back some of the time lost from acquiring that ammo, you know? Hold on. I know this is annoying, but I'm just going to do all of that again. Keep moving, keep moving. There we go, looking good. Get the ammo.
Look at this.
I'm going to push you out of my way. Going to hit triangle. All right, I'll wait for Ellie to move, but that was a little bit bad. And then climb up. Is what it is. We need the ammo.
There we go.
And odds are you are going to loot. You are not going to have any ammo leaving museum. Is what it is.
Just so it's out there,
But again, if you just don't fire a bullet here,
Looks like it's
he'll
shot on the
maintain
right.
that running speed that you just saw up the whole stairs. But I like to wait until he gets here. So then you do that. There are no enemies actually here. It's somewhere out of bounds.
Yeah, sure thing.
Little error by Naughty Dog. But it works in our favor. And then swap approaching the triangle prompt. Okay, now, just like before, you want to... The earliest you can pause, do the restart checkpoint, and you can move Joel right away.
We'll go upstairs. How do we get up from there? Just keep pushing forward.
All right. Now, Joel, at this point, is exhausted sprinting. So as soon as the subtitles pop up on the bottom, right there, see the subtitles? That is a checkpoint. So we're going to make a save file. And it places you right here, but you get all your sprint speed back. So even though you lose a second on the restart checkpoint, you gain it back, and then some, by being able to sprint at full speed. So it is worth it. And it's worth it for a couple reasons.
Tess.
First things first, we need these supplements here before we go forward. Now watch this. Normally, you just pick up the rifle, which is very, very slow. Da-da-da-da-da. Joel's like, yes, this is indeed a rifle. Like he's never seen one before. And then you go on. But watch this. This is the reason we need a revolver bullet here.
Copy that.
Isn't that cool?
Fireflies! Pin him down!
I got him! Cover the exits!
They're heading to the remake!
Ow. Damage doesn't really matter much there. And then you go. Ah, yes, this rifle is made of rifle. Yes. Yeah. Isn't that cool? Now, that strategy isn't as, like, obvious as it seems. So what you want to do is you want to get alerted by these guys, but what you want to do is do it, like, late, because if you do it here... You actually can get hit by these guys. Yeah. But that's another thing I mentioned. Don't try and climb over these things because,
Copy that.
Tess.
You, take out the door.
Naughty Dog never made these things unclimbable for some reason.
Took out 2 of my men. Copy that.
And you will die. Yeah, there's a lot of glitches in this game. So for whatever you do, don't hit X in this area, because you might accidentally jump over. Anyway, they can hit you, but in order to pick up that rifle, you need to be in the alert phase.
Took out 2 of my men.
So basically, when you get right about here, fire a bullet and keep going. Get the supplements, go. And then you want to mash triangle. You want to mash triangle leading up to it. Now, it's not as simple as it looks, because if you don't mash triangle, you can't pick it up. If you wait till the last second to pick it up, you'll still pick it up slowly. Like this. See that? And the reason this happened, it mainly has to do with tired sprinting, so it's not as clear-cut as it looks. Your movement has to be clean. You really can't have tired sprint when you're picking up that rifle.
Get away from him!
So get the supplements, go. Now, run towards it and mash triangle. And you'll pick it up normally. As for this area, well, I'll focus on this area in a bit.
Pin him down! I got him! Cover the exits. They're heading to the rear exit.
It kind of is as simple as that, but I'll show off the, we gotta go back here every time we want to do this area.
Took out 2 of my men. Copy that.
Run!
And mash like a crazy person. Okay, so for me, this is the cue I use. When this pillar becomes out of sight, that's my cue to stop sprinting. So like,
I got this.
there, and then crouch. I didn't do it right. That's I stopped. That's why it didn't work. But when that pillar becomes out of sight on my screen, that's my cue to stop sprinting and crouch. Now, the reason you don't want to sprint all the way through is because then they'll be aggressive. Now, you need to get alerted. That's just how this area works. You need to get alerted pretty early. It's a bit hard to explain why, but getting alerted is part of the strategy. Mash triangle like a crazy person. There we go. Now, again, stop sprinting right about here, and then crouch.
Fireflies! Pin him down!
Oh, right there, right there. You want to crouch right away. See, right there, I stayed jogging a little bit too long. So when you get that thing, when you decide it's time to stop sprinting, crouch.
Get out of there!
Yeah. Whatever, make sure you pick that up. Okay, so right there. Crouch. That guy will run away.
Pin him down! I got him!
That guy will hide behind here.
To the rear exit!
And then you leap over this thing, and then go. Now, again, another one of those things where when you leap over, you want to hit circle when he lands so you can move him right away again. And then the checkpoint for this spot is right here, like as he's falling. It's right there. It's not indicated by these. It's one of those you just need to know. Like if I restart encounter, it's going to place us at the bottom here.
What are we doing?
And then, yeah. Now, sometimes you don't get that enemy alignment as you're heading towards that hallway. Sometimes there's one in your way. That's why I have the rifle in my hand. If there's an enemy that's still standing and aiming at you, kill him. The rifle can hold 7 bullets, and you pick that thing up with 6. Now, there's a shiv door in Billstown where there's 3 bullets inside. So you can technically use 2 bullets in this building and still be okay. If everything goes right, you don't need to use any at all. But, yeah. I keep the rifle out as a just in case.
Tess.
Run, Ellie!
Also, I should mention, notice how I'm aiming, like how I'm shooting. I'm not letting go of sprint and then doing that.
Get away!
I'm aiming and shooting while I have sprint held down. It keeps his momentum going a little bit more compared to if you just let go of it. So that's also kind of important. All right, so judging on the pillar, crouch.
Fireflies!
Start up again right about there once you see that they're like crouched and shit.
To the rear exit!
Leap over this thing. And go. And then checkpoint right there. That's about all there is to that area. Hopefully that's a lot simpler than it looks, and hopefully it works for you. But, yeah. The top floor strat may not be perfect, but it's pretty good, I think. Okay, now for this area. This area is surprisingly consistent.
Joel, how are we gonna get out of here?
We're gonna go through that
If you
hall.
took any damage, there's some health right there.
How many more there are?
They have to come through here. Comb the area.
Joel, here's the exit.
Move it!
Now that strat is like, as I call it, sketch city. Like, oh my god, that's consistent? Yeah, it actually is. So first things first, you want to pick up this full rag right here.
Joel, how are we gonna get out of here?
But you don't want to just pick it up like that. You want to pick it up
Stay down. I don't know
like
how many
that.
there are.
Because then he won't do like the reaching out animation, and you can pick it up from a little bit further away. So it looks like this.
What are we doing?
Oop,
Joel, how are we
too
gonna
far.
get out of here?
Okay. That was a little too far away.
What are we doing? Joel, how
There
are
we go,
gonna
see
get out
that?
of here?
So mid-transition between guns, I'm mashing triangle.
Stay down. I don't know.
Once I see it on screen, I know I picked it up. And there's also, you can hear it get picked up as well.
What are we doing? Joel, how are
Right
we
there,
gonna
see
get
that? Now also right there, you want to crouch.
Stay down. I don't know how many more there
Check
are.
it out.
Because,
Joel, there's the
Get him! I see him!
I see it.
yeah. While that may have worked there, that isn't, no, that just isn't pretty.
What
So,
are we doing?
get
Joel,
the
how are we
rag,
gonna get out of here?
crouch, and then go.
We're gonna go through
That way you're not alerted, or almost alerted, and then crouch in the doorway.
Through here. Comb the area.
And then, when you get to this corner of this desk,
There's the exit.
go. Now that enemy right there will only fire at you one time, and he will miss. If he fires at you a second time, the game hates you, okay? It just does. But he shouldn't do that. I could do this 10 times in a row. I think he will never shoot me a second time, and he'll always miss the first shot. But what makes it work is when you do decide to start sprinting, well, not decide, you want to start sprinting when you hit the little corner of that crate. You want to hug the right side and then like run into that guy and go out the door. If you hug the left side, it doesn't work as well. Let me show you. I'll show you a couple things that can go
What are
wrong.
we doing?
One thing that can go wrong is if you run too far
Joel, how are we
forward,
gonna get out of here?
they'll think that they spotted you,
We're gonna go through that.
and
hall.
then
Stay down. I don't know how many more there are.
You have to come through. Let's check it out. Comb the area.
yeah, that can happen. So when you pick up this rag right here, make sure you don't run too far forward.
Joel, how are we
Like
gonna get
so.
out of here?
Crouch here, and then you gotta crouch like right in the doorway, because if you go a little too far,
You have to come through here. I hear him.
that happens, and you don't want that to happen, obviously. So putting everything together, don't run too far forward.
Joel, how are we gonna get out of here?
Crouch here, then sprint.
Go through that hall.
You can pick up the health
I
there.
don't know how many more there are.
Crouch right here,
Come through here.
and then when you get to the corner of this crate, sprint. But if you hug the left
The
side,
exit.
yeah, that. So while this is consistent, it is specific.
Joel,
Pick
how
that
are we
up.
gonna get out of here?
Don't get almost alerted by that guy. Crouch, sprint,
Through that hall.
pick up the health if you need
Stay
it.
down. I don't know how many more there are.
Crouch,
You have to come through here. Comb the
and
area.
then sprint, hug the right side,
There's the exit.
and then go. Ow, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Hurry!
I never said the strat was perfect, but it's consistent. And like I mentioned before, they are very bad shots when they're shooting you in your back. Okay? How about one more time without me getting shot?
Joel, how are we gonna get out of here?
Crouch. The crouch is good because it's kind of hard to maneuver through that doorway anyway.
More there are.
You have to come through here.
Now what this crouch also does is it regains some of his sprint speed.
Joel, there's the
Get
exit.
him! Open up! Got you coming.
There we go. That's just a little grazed. Ow! Stop it. That was weird. It was probably the guy guarding the exit.
What are we doing?
Right, I'll tell you when
Joel, how
I'll
are we
tell
gonna
you
get
when
out
an
of
encounter is to my standards.
We're gonna go through that
So
hall.
far these have been a little weird.
Stay down. I don't know how many more there are.
Crouch.
You have to come through here. Comb the area.
here? Joel, there's the exit.
I see it.
Follow me.
That guy guarding the exit is acting weird. Yeah, that was good enough. I'm gonna do it one more time. The guy should be shooting me earlier. I wonder if it's because I have the camera off of him.
We're gonna go through that hall. Stay down. I don't know how many more there are.
At least everything up until here, you understand why we need to do it the way we do it. And again, this gives him some sprint speed back. You know what it could be? I think I'm waiting. Okay. I think you need to start sprinting a little bit earlier than what I'm doing. I think that's what's going on here.
Let me go through that hall.
Sorry, I don't mean to troubleshoot like as I'm making a tutorial. Yeah, you don't need to wait to crouch walk that long. You can do it from here. There's the bullet fired, and then yeah.
Follow me.
All right, yeah. Okay, so you don't need to crouch walk that far. All right, everything put together now. Get that. Don't get almost alerted by them. Crouch here. Sprint again.
Let me go through that hall.
Crouch in the doorway, not past it.
They have to come through.
And then sprint right about here. Hug the right side. It might be all the restart encounters that are making the area weird. And then go. That's what the strat is. All right. Sorry, I didn't show that off the best. Okay, this military turret can hit you and kill you. So what you want to do is when you're sprinting away, hug the right wall. Like, really hug the right wall, and then get behind cover as quick as you can. It's very, very weird. But yeah, that turret, if you're just running in the middle of the stairs, can hit you, and most of the time will hit you. Hug the right wall. And hug it as much as you can.
I wasn't lying to you.
You spot him? No. Place is empty.
All right, wait for the encounter to begin. There it is. And restart checkpoint or encounter, doesn't matter which one. And the reason for this one, it places the enemies in a little bit of a different spot, but also, for some reason, Naughty Dog made it so that as long as you're doing this first try, Joel will always have his tired sprint in the subway. This restart checkpoint right here gives it back to him. So, all in all, it should look like this.
Get him!
Now, this is another one of those strategies that is definitely like Sketch City. But that's how it typically goes. That was perfect. All right, so what you do is you hold down sprint and you hold the left stick in an upright direction. And then you mash X to leap over it, and you keep sprint held down, and you run past those two. And that's pretty much it. There are some things that can go wrong, like if it's held too high, he sprints in the wrong direction. Or he'll leap over in the wrong direction. You see, it still works. But if you leap too far to the right, that's where you really get problems. Hold on. If you leap too far to the right. Yeah, that. So you want to leap at a specific angle, which is right around here. Basically, don't make it too far forward or else it's weird. Don't make it too far to the right or else, yeah, they'll clip you. You know what? Let me make a file here because there's some other things I need to talk about. Let's do that again. Oh, God. Nope, still works. I think what happens sometimes with that is the one soldier is blocking the aim of the other one in the back. But yeah, when you get here, you want to keep sprint held down, and you want to go through this part.
Hey, I can't swim.
We'll figure something.
And then you want to leap over. And then you want to climb on this train cart. This train cart. Because that will make it so he can sprint here. And then you go for the pallet over there. Now, sometimes the game doesn't allow you to climb that. You can get shot running away, but it doesn't usually happen. Now, I want to test a theory that I've always had. If you don't exit through that door specifically...
Hey, I can't swim.
Remember, I went to the left after that first door. I'm pretty sure if I were to climb the train car now... No, it still lets you, but Joel looks really weird.
Ellie?
He's not sprinting. That's the thing. He's not sprinting. Yeah. It does something to the encounter if you don't go out that first door on the left in the train cart. Okay.
Get him!
That's a pretty consistent strat, right? Or but yeah, when you get right here, go out this door. It makes it so the encounter is still maintained and he can sprint at the top of the train cart. Yeah, resurface. There's that.
Ellie?
Then he's sprinting. And you go for the pallet. You don't have to look at Ellie, it doesn't make her go any faster. Now, Ellie can only hop on this thing once she's finished saying, hey look, it still works. And I should mention, sometimes you just can't climb the train. I don't know why, I haven't been able to pinpoint the reason. But if you do exactly as I did here, you should be okay.
Hey, look, it still works.
Get on.
Really?
Ellie.
Right.
Okay.
Now, the pallets in this game are really bad. I recommend placing the pallet this way. Don't place it against the wall like this way or this way. Place it forward. Because they can glitch out a lot. Well, where like the collision against the wall is weird. It just...
Be careful.
When you're placing a pallet against a wall or a ledge, place it this way. It's unlikely it'll glitch out because they can glitch out. All right, it's not like there's nothing to do here. After you place her against there, you need to go over here and collect 5 more supplements, which are right there. Now, there is a checkpoint here. As you can see, there is a checkpoint here. When it goes from 1 minute down to less than 1 minute, restart checkpoint, and it will place you all the way over here. Now, the reason you want to go for those supplements right away is if you pick them up, if you pick up those supplements after the checkpoint has been hit, you won't have them. But as you can see, you have more than enough time. You can pick them up in the water. And, yeah, then Ellie, like, walks over here and then points the flashlight this way. That's your cue to, I like how the pallet's over there. That's funny. But yeah. Make sure you pick up those supplements very quickly. And then once the checkpoint is hit, and you can tell that when it goes from 1 minute to less than 1 minute, restart checkpoint, it places you right here. Now, this is very convenient, but look at this. There's just a med kit right here. And one of those things, to avoid having to crouch to pick it up, equip your rifle, and he'll just pick it up without having to crouch for it. But super convenient. There's 2 med kits, one you get in slums and one you get here, and you didn't have to craft either of them. And this is the amount of ammo you should be leaving with. It's, again, you can have 4 rifle bullets and still be okay. The rifle can only hold 7. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is outside through Capital. Some areas I made things a little bit more complicated than they really are, but I'd say the most complicated thing is the museum fight, where it's like, if you have 3 revolver bullets, do this strat. If you have 2 revolver bullets, do this strat, and here's what can go wrong and the reason we killed them in a certain order and stuff like that. That was probably the most complicated thing, but yeah, I didn't do a good job showing off Capital, but you gotta trust me, those strats are pretty consistent, okay? They'll work for you. They will. But yeah, that is outside through Capital. And look forward to the next part where we will do the entirety of Billstown. Hope you learned something. Please learn something so it justifies all my time here. All right. See you guys. Bye.